It's time to do the right thing for Western Australia. Make your vote count. Put Western Australia. Labour and the Greens last on 8 March 2025. Last on 8 March 2025.
Hello and welcome. We're here at the Put Labor Last website as part of the Western Australian State Election 2025, and it includes how to vote cards to put WA Labor last. There's a district map and you can find your electorate and how to vote card. And if you click on the name of the electorate below, you can download how to vote cards for your district. Now let's focus on West Swan, and you can see here the West Swan district. They are saying to put the Liberal Party as number 1 and Labor and the Greens last, and in this setting they have One Nation 2 and the Christians 3. That is because the Legalised Cannabis Party, their party preferences end up going to Labor, and the Greens and the Labor both preference each other. And so if you want to vote to ensure the Labor Party don't get a seat, this is the way to vote in West Swan. Another seat of interest is Swan Hills District, and here we can see that this website is again promoting the Liberal Party, but if we look here we can see SFFPWA, that's the Shooters and Fishers and Farmers parties. So one recommendation is to put them number 1, followed by the Nationals, Liberals, One Nation, the Christians, and then Greens and Labor last. The Central Wheatbelt District is held by the National Party, and Hunter Lachlan is seeking to take over the seat from Mia Davies, who is moving to the federal arena. Again, this website promotes the Liberal Party as the option. There's no Shooters and Fishers party there. Thank you to the volunteers at the Put Labor Last website. Putting together a website and how to vote cards like this is a really big task. So thank you for their efforts to help Western Australia voters. It's great to see that this election voters are galvanised and seeking to get involved. Go to the Put Labor Last website and the address will be on the screen. Now I also want to include information about the Upper House. This is information from the Western Australian Electoral Commission, and there has been changes made to the way the Upper House elections occur. So this is their information. So it says you may vote either above or below the line, but not both. And if you vote above the line, write the number 1 in the square above the name of the party or group of your choice. You can make more choices if you want to, by writing more numbers in the other squares in order, starting from number 2. You don't need to write a number in every square. Don't write any numbers below the line if you are wanting to vote above the line. If you vote below the line, write the numbers 1 to 20 in the squares to the left of the name of the candidates of your choice. You can make more choices if you want to, by writing more numbers in the other squares in order, starting from number 21. You don't need to write a number in every square. Don't write any numbers above the line if you're doing the below the line vote. Now this is not exactly a great example of a ballot paper because it doesn't reflect the real ballot paper. As you can see, there's more than 20 numbers down here, and my advice is if you're going to do below the line, you should start from your choice of number 1 and go right through to the end of the ballot. So complete all of the squares and write in all the numbers, and that way you control the preferences and the way they count your vote. So the advantage here is, in this election, it's the Great versus the Clear Future and United Peoples. You can vote 1, 2, 3. And then you can go over here and we'll have 4 here and 5 here and 6 here, because sometimes we might decide that we don't like Cynthia White because she's a bit of a Karen. So we might put 2 there, 3 there, 4 there, 5 there. So that's the WA Electoral Commission's information. Now, Freedom Media WA from X.com, and they are describing themselves as the only independent how to vote guide for the WA state election. And this guide explains exactly why each party is recommended in its position, aiming to break the stranglehold and increase diversity in the upper house. A stronger crossbench means more freedom-friendly minor parties and independents. And the key points: vote above the line on the white ballot paper, upper house, and number all 13 boxes with a different number. Remember, how to vote pamphlets at polling booths are handed out by political parties and are designed to benefit their negotiated deals, not necessarily your best interests. Now, there's a video here at this X account. This is the same information from the WA Electoral Commission, but it's been changed with the vote above the line recommendations. And so this is how they are suggesting to vote, that this will get the most amount of minor parties in the upper house, and that's what we need. There has been a terrible number of laws that are quite tyrannical and undemocratic and that remove human rights that have been pushed forward by the WA Labor Party, who are currently in control. There's been a shift away from common sense and they have gone to the extreme left. The Greens chop down trees now. They chop down koala habitat, and Labor are also chopping down trees that are lived in by the Carnaby cockatoos. So this shows how the changing political environment has evolved, and we need to evolve. So this seems to be a good strategy. They're saying put Libertarians WA first, followed by the Shooters and Fishers, the Christians 3, One Nation 4, the Nationals 5, and the Liberal Party 6. And I'm told from the video that is designed to maximise the preferences from the minor parties. And after number 6, they have the 7, which is the group independents. I'm not going to mention them because they're a bit more complex, but 8, the Stop Pedophiles Protect Kiddies Party, they are actually the renamed Democratic Labor Party, so their preferences will go to the WA Labor Party. The Sustainable Australia Party also is, according to this, the allegation is that they are going to go to the Labor Party, and the Animal Justice Party, which are great in principle. Their values are very noble, but at the end of the day, they go to the Labor Party, allegedly. Same with Cannabis Party. And of course, WA Labor 12 and the Greens at 13. So this is how complicated it can be if you don't understand those opaque preference deals that have been done. I'd like to thank Freedom Media WA for this great resource. It's really useful to have this, as there are very few independent sources of information for voters. So thank you very much. They're at Free Media WA and their information is on the screen. I think maybe the Shooters and Fishers Party would be good to have number one, and the Libertarians are excellent. Whether or not I'm a great fan of the Christian Party and the One Nation Party, they have a history of appearing to be very good, but their candidates seem to have a history of having some concerns. So these are not authoritative do this or else recommendations, but these are sources of information that I hope will remove some of the confusion. The main thing is to be creative about how you approach this matter, because I believe it is imperative that the upper house has a much more diverse balance of power arrangement, with minor parties who can hold the government of the day to account, regardless of whether they're Liberal or Labor. And in the lower house, currently, the WA Labor Party position is so strong that we need to have a return to a more balanced approach, with an opposition that can be more able to hold the government to account. What we've seen since the COVID response was a undermining of human rights-based care. There's been coercion. There's been laws put through that have been done without consultation. The Heritage Act, for example, that seems to be very contentious and is not working very well. So I believe that we've given the Labor Party a chance. They're now looking very tired. It's time to do the right thing for WA. So make your vote count. Put WA Labor and the Greens last. By now I'm sure you've heard me describe why I believe this. I have oodles of stories about how WA Labor Party members have mistreated vulnerable disabled people in community groups in the health sector. And so this is why I'm also taking a stand, because if these political operatives will not be reined in by their party establishments, then we need to encourage the voting public to give them less seats in Parliament. Well, we're coming down to the last week of the election campaign, so please like, share and subscribe. Go to @JamesRendell17 on x.com. That's where I put a great deal of information. If you'd like to join our Telegram group, that's where uncensored information is. We appreciate everyone who watches our videos. In this age of censorship, watching a video and sharing and liking is a real way to beat the censorship algorithms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
It's time to do the right thing for Western Australia. Make your vote count. Put Western Australia Labor and the Greens last on 8 March 2025.